if you really want to address multidimensional poverty, and I mean not narrow things like malaria, which is very important, right? But multidimensional poverty, really empowering people to address their own needs, I cannot see anything which is as powerful as cash. And it's not simply that there have been over 300 randomized control trials demonstrating over 3, 6, 9, 12 years that cash is outperforming almost every other comparable development intervention, right? It's outperforming nutrition programs and delivering nutrition. It's outperforming youth business programs and delivering youth business. It's outperforming education enrollment programs and education enrollment. It's not just that. There is a moral component to this. In an age that is rightly worried about aid being colonizing, about patronizing, about the history of aid, this is essentially saying the individual in a remote community knows more, cares more, can do more than the distant official. This is about giving freedom to people. It's about giving dignity to people. And this is why we need to be serious about what addressing extreme poverty means. I had an economist come with me to visit a project on the Rwanda-Burundi border, and he found an old woman, maybe she was, I guess, in her early 70s, living in a building without a formal roof, with one possession, which was a cooking pot, 3 grandchildren she was looking after who were not in school. And he was embarrassed because he told her that she spent $2 of the money she received on getting a mattress. And he said, is that a productive investment? Can you prove that the mattress is a productive investment? And I'm thinking, wait a second, do you sleep on the floor? Right? Are you saying a 72-year-old woman should be sleeping on the floor? I mean, what is the point of lifting somebody out of poverty if they don't have the freedom to get a mattress? And I remember early on in my time being presented a wonderful strategy on doing water and sanitation for girls in schools in Zambia. And it was a fantastic theory of change. The idea was that women, during their monthly cycle, if they could remain in school, they'd be able to be educated for more years, and this would result in fantastic outcomes. And we had a budget of $40,000 per school. I then drive 2.5 hours outside Lusaka to see one of these programs. I see UNICEF, I see white land cruisers, I see a lot of engineers, and they give me a great chat. And then I go to see what's been achieved with $40,000. And $40,000 is paid for 2 brick latrines, holes in the ground, cost about $800, and 5 red plastic buckets. Right? And I said, you know, what's with the red plastic buckets? And they said, well, you know, we did a needs assessment, we consulted, we looked at the engineering challenges, and we decided it was more sustainable for the girls to take the buckets to the well 300 yards away, and then they can use the soap and water to wash their hands. And I said, why didn't you just give the $2,000 to the head teacher? We could have done 20 times as many schools. And the answer was, well, he might have stolen the money, right? Now, I'm hesitating from saying we stole the money, right? We stole $38,000 out of $40,000. But with GiveDirectly, I've made the final breakthrough to realize that instead of wasting an enormous amount of money consulting people, listening to them, assessing them, and then telling them what they need, we just give them unconditional cash and let them address their own needs directly. The thing that we all grew up with, which is give someone a fish they eat for a day, teach them to fish they eat for a lifetime, turns out to be mistaken. Many of the villages we work in, either they already know how to fish and just don't have the money for a fishing hook, or they don't want to fish, they want to open a bakery, right? And yet we're still there turning up, trying to teach everybody how to fish at huge expense.